All right. Now we're live. What's up, everybody? It's Mando Monday. I have a new graphic for us. It's so fancy.
I can't see it and I love it.
So high res.
Yeah. It's very thrown together, but at least I figured out how to make my Discord camera work this time. So we got that going for us. That's new.
It is nice to like talk to your face
I
and
know.
not outline.
Oh yeah.
So we had a very big week with this Friday's episode. Team No Sleep for once for me. I'm never gonna do it again. That was the worst idea I ever had.
Still
Well, you
didn't.
watched on 2K.
Right.
I did a lot of driving that day.
But you guys got to wake up and watch it uninterrupted. When
See,
I
that-
get up in the morning, it's crazy time in here, so I have no peace and quiet.
Gonna happen.
Have you considered Benadryl?
No.
Have you considered adoption?
Oh, many times over the last few months, but no, they're gonna be. Oh yeah, 2 a.m. at Mando. Well, you were in the central 3 a.m. over here, but yeah, once I watched it, I was like wide awake though, so there was like no going to sleep after that either because I was so excited about what happened.
It was drawn out for me. Like, it was the longest Team No Sleep ever. Maybe it's because I was trying to fix my sleep schedule, so thanks, Filoni.
Yeah, thank you, Filoni, who, by the way, is trolling us again. But
I'm not shocked.
we'll get into that later. But so right off the bat, like 3 seconds in, we see Ahsoka. There's no like,
Good way to
I
start.
was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I was
No.
not expecting it right there and then.
right. It was kind
Filoni
of.
couldn't wait. He couldn't wait.
It was like, all right, we're doing this right now. Right now. So I was all right with it though. It was very pretty. The cinematography in this episode is probably my favorite of all of them.
It
so
had
far.
such like samurai movie vibes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was probably the most Star Wars episode, or one of the most Star Wars episodes we've seen so far, just because it really dives into all of the major inspirations for what Star Wars was supposed to be in the beginning, Kurosawa and spaghetti western,
Yeah. No, I managed to do both aspects of it. It was pretty cool.
especially at the end.
Yes. And I loved her costume. It was very
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
yeah. She's got like the Bushido like pants going with the whole. Did you guys see that picture I linked you guys with the belt buckle?
Yeah, I think I saw it
No way.
somewhere else too.
So her belt buckle has like this imagery that looks like the Lothwolves running in a circle, like the portal to the chalk zone.
That's awesome.
We don't go to the chalk zone.
It looks like the portal to the chalk zone. I don't know, but I mean, it's just like such a tiny little detail, and people only caught it today when they put out the picture of her standee, and they zoomed in on it, and they're like, "Hey, wait a second." But yeah,
I mean, credit to the people who were able to spot the Thrawn sigil on the
HKs.
the HK-87, because even when I knew where it was and I tried to pause it, it was still super grainy. And it's like, unless I knew what it was, like
Yeah, I
was
completely
looking
missed
for it
them.
with like knew it by heart, I wouldn't have been able to tell.
I completely missed that until it was posted later. I was like, "Huh,"
Yeah.
but I did catch Morai, which was immediately.
I did too, and I freaked out.
But I knew I was looking for it the whole time. I'm like, if Ahsoka's here, then clearly more eyes could be around. But yeah, so they went right into it, and this a magistrate, whatever, she's Dathomiri though. Where was that posted? Like who?
It was her hairdresser. It was like
From-
the hairstylist for the
from the show?
production.
Oh, what was like Dave like make her look Dathomiri?
I don't know why she
Or
was
gave
like.
research pictures.
Yeah, but like, didn't most of them not have any hair?
None of them really. Well, I mean,
Except
they
for
did.
Marin. Did the other Night Sisters have hair?
I think the majority of them were wearing hoods.
It's true.
Yeah, and
So
the
you
other
never
thing is,
saw
like,
it.
we never saw any non-Night Sister looking
Dathomiri,
people from
except
Dathomir.
for the
Yeah.
Zabraks. That's why I was confused. I was like, are they human? Like,
I mean, I don't know if. I mean, obviously, I don't think Pablo or anyone has come out and said, no, that's not true. What the hell are you talking about? So I guess it's
he's
a
not.
thing.
He's not going to until they put out that book next year.
Pablo doesn't do things like that.
Not anymore, anyway. I
I was
think.
gonna say, so Dave Filoni's kind of taking the reign on that one,
Yeah.
at
Oh
least
yeah.
for this episode.
Yeah. So I guess that'd be cool.
Don't be Pablo.
Do you think Ahsoka killed her?
No,
I don't think so.
if she did, we would have seen it.
You think so? Because I think
Yes.
that maybe they would have done it off screen, but
No, I think that the village probably took her into custody and is gonna do whatever.
The minute she appeared on screen, I was getting solid, like, dark side Sithy vibes.
yeah, yeah. Because she also had that like with that face tattoo, like the star
Tattoo, very
Robe
intense.
and the layers and
and she's like a serious badass martial artist, the actress.
And funny of you to mention that because so Misha, our friend Misha, elaborated about. She was kind of vague with what she said, but I think it was kind of one of those subtle jabs. But I'm like, I didn't know who the stunt woman was for her. Apparently, the stunt woman is Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
Well,
Or
no,
maybe
that's her. That was the actress.
Oh, that's the actual actress.
Yes, she's Bruce
Um,
Lee's goddaughter. Her father was his training partner.
So Misha actually got to hang out with her when they went to China, and Brian got taught a couple of, I guess, had like a class with her or something like that. So she was teaching him some stuff,
Well, that's
which
cool.
was super rad. She said that she was super cool. Misha said she was super cool, and they had a long conversation about stuff and everything. So pretty neat.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty
it's
cool.
she used to do like I guess she was in Buffy, like back in the day. Like she did a bunch of like stuff like that. But yeah, no, she was a great actress for that. She was neat. And Michael Ben had it in him. Bean. We're all like going in our minds doing mental gymnastics for a few weeks. Like, who's he gonna play? Because he was the last. Yeah, he was the last like big name that we knew was cast, right? And he was just a guy.
I didn't like. I see. I don't follow like who's getting cast for what, and I really don't know what they're parts of. I watch Screen Crush, so that's how I get like every single Easter egg.
How you didn't know from Joe and I like yelling about it in our group
Because half
channels.
the time I tune you guys out anyway, because it's usually Miami Heat related, and I just don't care.
Season's over. We're good.
But yeah, so like when I found out it was like it's Kyle Reese, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, the joke, we were like, would he be Kyle Katarn? But like, what is he gonna do? Just
Kyle Katarn's never going to be on
No.
canon.
no, I don't think he's
It's
gonna come
not
back.
gonna
Nor should he.
It
Yeah.
would piss off more people than it would like get people excited because again, his whole story arc has already been thrown out because of
Rogue
the
One.
establishment of Rogue
Yeah.
One. Exactly.
Yeah, no, he's probably gonna stay dead. Dead Zor. All
Stay
right.
a legend.
Well, that's what I
Be a
mean.
legend.
Like, and this guy's dead too, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
One of the things I really, really liked in this episode was just the use, because we had those serious samurai movie vibes, it had some really cool moments of like those centered shots with the silhouettes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it was amazing. The one where she's sitting there, Ahsoka's sitting there talking to Grogu on the tree stump, and they're both, and Mando's watching them from the distance. That silhouette of them. That's my husband's favorite shot. He's the one he keeps going on about that one. I love that one too. And the one where she's going into the magistrate's compound and she's up on the gate and Din's standing out front. That's my favorite shot of it. It was like her cloak billowing behind her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, we're going there. That's awesome. No, it is
Maybe someone
beautiful.
sniffing after your booze. Oh, there he is.
He wants to be
Just
involved.
magically appears in another camera.
He's there to be involved. So, but yeah, so Grogu. What a name.
The name.
Certainly a name.
Well, apparently, apparently it wasn't just like something they came up with for this episode or even this season.
No, they
I
had it
don't
a
know
long
the
time.
source. Yeah, Filoni said that Favreau basically had it since day one.
But they said that he had a name, and they just didn't reveal
Yeah.
it. Like, that was we knew that.
Well,
And-
that's one of the things I've loved during the credits every episode is their concept art pieces
Mhm.
you can see were made before his costume change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was planned
Yeah.
out for a very long time before it was even picked up, probably before it was pitched. Favreau talking about how he wrote one of the scripts during Christmas. I mean, this is just a love project for him. I mean, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
no,
like,
he was just, like, chilling, and he had this idea in his head, and he couldn't get it out, and he just, like, wrote it all down.
and it screams passion project through every single episode. I mean, most of them,
No.
aside from the filler ones.
Joe and I have said this to each other a couple of times, just the concept. If you went back to 2017 and told me that we were going to have a show that focused around Mandalorians, I would call you a fucking liar.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like they would never
How
give
many?
us that. They would never let us have this.
Well, and also because we've had so many like rumors of a Boba Fett movie or standalone movie or show that it was more far fetched to have just one based around the Mandalorians in general because it's less known. Even when it was pitched in 2018, I'm sure there were a lot of people who were like, I don't know what this is.
But that's why
I'll
it
say it.
works.
I don't need the Boba Fett show. I don't want
No,
it.
I don't either.
No?
But it's so amazing to hear about Mandalorians in just casual conversation now. Not even
Yeah.
people, not even just fans, but like just I'll hear it like thrown out so many times in like just at work, and I'm just like, this is the craziest thing.
It's amazing to have my coworkers who know that we do Mandalorian costuming and everything,
And they get it now.
and come up to me and try to talk to me about the show and ask me questions about the culture and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I never would have thought I would live in that world.
I know.
Yeah, no. I never would have dreamed.
Because I have my coworkers asking me all the time, like, explain this or do that. I'm like, I got you. And then I do the conspiracy porn. No, I'm just... So I feel like sometimes. Like, pause me if I'm going too crazy for you. But yeah.
You're going to say something, Mickey?
We had our security guy who came over and saw our Boba Fett mug, and he was like, "Oh, you like Boba Fett?" We're like, "Yeah,
A bit.
We actually ended up giving him a Scarif card and told him, like, hit us up.
I love it. I still need cards. I don't have any.
It makes me kind of
Oh,
sad, though, that we're like, this is our year, and we haven't been able to ship it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. I'm glad that we were able to get into Claremont Parade, though. Because, like, that was a big moment. Because we were already a couple episodes in with that. So that was, like,
Yeah.
our big
Last year.
exposure.
That was
It
fun.
was huge.
Well, it doesn't look like the hype's stopping either, so
No, I think
No.
it's gonna keep going.
No, and that's like, yeah, every episode's just getting better.
And we know
It's
for
adding
sure
so much
there's
more
another
material to
season, and there's probably going to be at least. Well, I think there'll be at least 2 more, but we'll see where the story's going to go. Definitely one more. We know for sure there's a season 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would be surprised if they decided to kill what is essentially their golden calf anytime soon.
But
I mean, really, it's going to depend
Golden
on what
Goose.
Favreau wants to go with it.
they're
And
going
it
to
also,
have the
you have to
Ahsoka
remember,
show.
I do think, I don't know if, because that's the question is, because it is a linear story, has Favreau already decided on how it's going to end? That's going to be the big decision.
I'm guessing yes.
I
think
think
they
so.
have, or at the very least, they have an end of this story in mind, and
Exactly.
maybe this story will end and there will be another one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I think
That'd
he
be kinda
has
cool
the
to do, like,
plot
the Mandalorian
points.
Chronicles.
Yeah. Well, there was the whole thing where they say that the show's name is The Mandalorian, but will it always be about Din? Or will it be
Mhm.
about Mandalorians, like Bo-Katan, Boba
I
Fett,
It could be.
They don't know. We'll see. But I think, I'm pretty sure they know at least the main plot points and then where they're going, and they're trying to hit these markers as they go, but then they have, the little wiggle room in between.
That's
Yes.
actually, I think, one of the things that frustrated me most about the sequel series was like, then we sat down to plot the next movie, and it's like, you did what?
Yeah. You could definitely tell, like the fact
Excuse
that,
me?
yeah, like the fact that you didn't have it planned out, and that's why they didn't feel so cohesive, is because you could tell.
There was no
Especially-
vision to it. And
No.
as
Yes.
much as I love the elements, and some of the elements are the best Star Wars, like my favorite Star Wars, it doesn't, blend well together.
Even episode 7, which was like arguably the most Star Wars of the bunch, especially with like its tradition and everything, and had probably the most grounding in it, still feels like an alien thing. It still feels like that time gap definitely feels real. Like it's like you have this huge like cohesive thing here, and then you kind of have this other stuff over in left field.
Well, they're thinking, that just how the Clone Wars cartoon was able to kind of flesh out the prequels more and make it feel better, that all these shows that they're going to do now, whether they're live action or animated in the future, will probably prop up the sequels a little bit more, maybe make them make a little more sense, connective tissue. It'd be a little hard, but...
Well, what the prequels had going for it was that it had characters who already existed.
Sure.
So that you knew, like, you had this entirely new universe, you had all these new enemies and stuff, and this whole thing with politics to try and figure out. But you still had Obi-Wan, you still had characters that you knew, and you understood that, like, they're going to wind up here, and this is where they're going to end up. So you understood where the story was going to go.
I mean, arguably,
even if it was still
the
pretty new to
sequels
you.
had characters that we knew, and they just unceremoniously
I would say
killed
they
them
had
all.
characters that we knew to the same extent too. Like
Yeah.
you have Leia, one of the original like character that is now older. You have Luke the Hermit. Like I feel like they even like I see what you're saying. I just don't think the sequels utilized
No, they
Exactly.
didn't use them well.
They really they tried to jump in and immediately have like these new characters. Like they tried to put them.
I don't have a
center.
problem with that. I love the new characters. I
Right.
actually think they I don't think there was back to cohesion. Like I love the new characters. I love this being Han and Leia's son is the bad guy. I think that's great.
It's
a
a
nice-
nice nod to Legends, even.
Yeah, exactly. I had no problem with the characters. I just think that you needed to use your original characters to help you establish this new universe.
Sure. No, and they did them dirty, and they did Finn dirty. They did
Watching
Poe
less and less Finn focused throughout. When John Boyega is one of the most talented actors on that screen, he brought so
Yeah.
much freshness and newness, and like was fun. It's a stormtrooper. It's just like and then it's
And you had it so focused in the beginning.
Right. No,
And it goes
it's like
to
he
show-
snapped. It's like his conditioning broke because he was force sensitive, and it suddenly awoke in him. It was like, there's a great story, and then nothing.
And they didn't do
Also
anything.
a little icky when you think about it's like, oh, only people who are force sensitive can break brainwashing. It's like, I would have liked to see like a normal dude too.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Well-
again, it was one of those things where you felt like it was written after.
Yeah.
You know,
But you
like,
know what?
Because
The other stormtroopers that he met, the deserters in the last one, in Rise of Skywalker, I mean, they didn't give any indication they were force sensitive, but they did also snap out of it too.
Didn't they? Thought they like
Only the one who turned out to be Lando's daughter. Because
Well, I thought she said all of them were.
I don't know anything about that. Because I
They
didn't barely
all
pay attention.
snapped out, but I don't think anyone else seemed to have that same.
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah,
I don't pay
no,
attention.
it's been a while.
Rolling my eyes about like, oh, that's Lando Calrissian's daughter. You guys just conveniently stumbled across her in the middle of this huge fucking galaxy.
The force
Yeah.
moves in mysterious ways. I
Well,
mean,
what's funny is
it's a chop zone.
I stepped
Yeah,
out.
the drop zone.
I stepped out to use the bathroom during that scene, like during most of that Endor scene or wherever it was, and I have no desire to watch that film again. So like, I'm never gonna find
It's a
out
shame
like what that
because
whole
you
deal
missed out
was.
on one of the best
Yeah,
parts of that movie.
no, I was like seriously pointing. Yeah, you'll go back
Ben-
to it. You got
Ben
it.
Solo, like,
Probably
Ben Solo was
It was-
amazing. I agree
it was
with you.
one of the better films. it was a good film.
Some of the best lightsaber duels, like hands
yeah.
down. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
No, that was
throne
beautiful.
room
That was good.
Both the forest in 7 and the throne room in 8, and on top of the Star Destroyer in 9, I could just watch those duels like
Yes.
That's where those movies shined in comparison to like the original trilogy. But
and it and it was one of the, and it drives you nuts because like you're like there's so many good elements to this that like you wish that it had just done more.
it's true. But now
Like
we
you
have
just
the
wish
thing
that it
we
had been done
want.
right.
We have what we really want, which is Grogu.
And it has so much more of an opportunity now to be able to focus on these things more. I mean, you already saw like, oh my god, I'm gonna keep going off about the transport scene, like that transport like hijacking.
Oh yeah, the
Pulling
Gazanti.
out a dry dock and with the shit. Oh
No,
my
it was
god, I could go on
beautiful.
about that scene for
It was
hours.
beautiful.
I got chills.
Which scene?
And with the Bo-Katan episode where they're
okay.
yeah, the Gazanti. Well, we have a lot more questions now. So I'm gonna go real fast though to the amazing trolling that was released today from Dave Filoni in that Vanity Fair interview, where he says, "We don't know when the epilogue in Rebels was. It might have been after this part of The Mandalorian."
Meanwhile,
Interesting.
I feel like he straight up said originally that it was shortly after
Endor, right?
It was strongly implied, yeah.
But maybe he's going back and changing
How
it.
does time work in Star Wars?
Yeah, no, he totally is trolling us, and it could be that he kind of had an idea of where things would go, but didn't know for sure. And then once the Mandalorian came into existence, he was like, "Oh, I can just tweak this in my head a little bit and make it work this way, and fit it in."
Yeah, there's only so much of that you can do. And I mean, let's also go into the fact of like the armor. Like all of a sudden, there's this strange generation of armor that existed during the Clone Wars, and it's only seen now. Like, and again, it's one of those shortcomings where it's like you're kind of going.
Well, that's one of those like we're gonna just not talk about it, right? Because that's just
I also think it's more a functional thing.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the
Like-
same thing with Ahsoka's Leku.
Yeah, like it's they didn't want the 3 pieces. I don't want to wear the 3 pieces.
No, the 3
Why
pieces
doesn't
is a
the
pain in
plate
the
was
ass. Let me tell you, and you know this, Nick, because we're Russellors, and spacing plates sucks.
Just it makes
Just
no
worth
sense
it about.
functional wise.
There's a shot of Cobb Vanth with his plate coming off, and you can see Velcro. Like,
We've been him. We've all been him.
And people are like, "What's the best way to do plate mounting?" There you
Yeah.
go.
No, but that
Keep
and
it
so
simple.
and also that's just the gap where you can get stabbed or shot. You know, like why bother having? You know, let's not have the gap.
fact that every new piece of armor so far has been a solid plate is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's been
I
great.
love it. I love it. I'm all about this new style. I can't wait to switch over.
I just
But-
hate that everything has to be printed or vacuumed now.
Oh
But that's just me.
shit!
It's a Joe.
It's Joe.
It doesn't need to be printed or vac formed.
Yeah,
I
but I-
made one of those from Syndra
Yeah, no,
Well,
and yours
I
looks
think
Yeah.
good.
because it doesn't fit me. But I still made it.
Yeah, you can absolutely make it. For me, it's just one of those things where it's like seeing this stuff in live action now. I'm like, I have to be a perfectionist about it, but that's me.
I think I got pretty
It
close,
looks
to
so
be honest.
good, and it looks great.
I haven't
And
seen it in
I
person.
can like look past the whole. It's a whole new style. Why didn't we see that? Like that's one of those canon inconsistencies that I'm okay with. That's fine.
just inherently Star Wars, really.
Would it really be Star Wars if we couldn't like love it but also complain about it?
That's true. Oh, he's even on video, but you're muted.
Yeah, it's muted.
We can't hear you.
You gotta turn your mic on. There you
Who's
go.
driving?
Okay.
Stop, sir, are you driving?
I'm driving, so I'm gonna go back to just voice, but I wanted to say hi.
You're making me nervous.
We're
It's not really
gonna
any
talk.
different from
We're
being
gonna
on a
talk about
speakerphone.
Grogu here, Joe. So
That's Baby Yoda. That's Baby Yoda.
no. His name is Grogu, I'm gonna do like what I told my son. He's like, no, it's Baby Yoda. I'm not calling him Grogu. I said, fine, then I'm gonna call you Baby Josh from now on. And he didn't like
I'm
that.
definitely still calling him Baby Yoda.
Well, I love that. I've joked around that. I'm like, people are like, oh, I'm still gonna call him Baby Yoda. And I'm like, who do you think, Grogu?
It's a cute name. I think it's gonna grow on us. It's...
Oh, I was like, as soon as I heard it, I just melted.
Nocturnal Alchemy in the chat actually brought this up. It wondering if forging of pure Beskar was a lost art.
Ah, well,
We didn't really see that until this show.
That's
I'm wondering
true.
if it was more a finding the mineral was the issue as opposed to the actual crafting of it.
it used to be like a difficult process from what I remember in Legends in the EU.
Well, and according to Rebels, it's an alloy, so it's an amalgamation of different metals. It's not just
Right.
one.
And you reforge it, and it keeps its properties, but probably making the alloy itself. That's probably
Doesn't the client refer to it as a Chemtono of pure Beskar though?
right. But I think the pure means like it's the pure alloy. It's not like I don't
Okay.
know.
It's just those essential elements,
But I
and
mean,
there's
that,
no like filler.
I'm so glad that they showed him deflecting the lightsabers
That was
on his
cool.
bracers. I was like,
that was-
yes!
And now he's
And
got
that
a
was
cool
an important
guarding
element.
stuff stick.
And Pedro
Yeah.
Pascal is already like a boss with a spear. Thank you, Game of
Don't
Thrones.
remind me. I hear watermelons smushing every time someone brings that up.
We don't talk about Game of Thrones. We don't talk about Game of Thrones.
Why
Well,
not? Let's
but
talk about it
but
in
you
the
know
past.
what? So is he going to be the one to fight Gideon? You think with the spear, or is he going to give it to Bo-Katan to fight with Gideon with the spear?
As long as he doesn't get his head crushed in, I don't care what he does.
He's wearing a Beskar helmet. He'll be fine.
Well, he's still got the little slots for his eyes. You know. They haven't thought everything out.
Didn't wear a helmet that one time. Never takes it off now.
Well, he's kind of breaking his discipline a little bit. I think we're going to see more of that.
I think we're going to definitely see more of that.
I mean, obviously he's going to wear it most of the time, but we're going to start seeing, like, in more casual instances, he's not.
Well, that's true. Him lifting it up and drinking the tea just a little bit
I
or
can't-
whatever he was.
I
He's
can't
gonna
wait
go
until
back.
the armorer sees him with his helmet off and has a freaking meltdown.
He's going to go back and find his farm lady. He's like, I take my helmet off now.
That's
He's
how
like,
the
well-
series is going to end. He's going to go retire there with
There's a good chance that's
Grogu.
true.
No, he's going to serve alongside his Mandalore and lover Bo-Katan.
That's true. That's
I ship
true.
it
That's
so
also true.
hard.
I'm totally shipping that.
I don't know
One
if
of our
I feel good
friends-
about shipping the same thing as Nikki. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's
Well, that's
allowed.
you. You're going to be
It's
weird.
allowed this time. If ever you had to agree, now is the time for it. So yeah,
One of
that was cool though with the spear.
One of our friends, our mutual friends, she was telling me in a chat shortly after, she's like, I absolutely love this ship, mainly because I've never seen so many, like, of my male friends get on board with a ship
It's
before.
true. It's true. This is the first ship I've seen a bunch of dudes be excited about. Totally agree there. No, that's for real.
My favorite was a picture of the two of them looking at each other, and they circled the space between the helmets, and it was like, this is where the sexual tension is.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
And, like, I honestly can't think of a solid, I think we talked about this last week, like a solid Star Wars romance. I mean, there's Anakin and Padme. None of that. There's been couples, but not like a romance story.
Right. Hera and
Uh,
Kanan were probably the closest.
They were space.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I called them space married for years before it was like actually like yes, they are space married.
No, they were probably the closest, and it was a kids show, so they really didn't go into it very much.
It's his work wife that actually wound up evolving into something.
Well, they went,
It's secretly a Jim and Pam sort of thing.
it's true, and that is a romance for the
Whoa.
ages.
Hold on.
I'm not going to talk about your trash show, Joe.
Oh, Chewie was
Oh, God.
clearly happily married in the holiday special.
That is true.
Well, I mean, did we already mention Han and Leia? Like as
What?
far as
But
original,
their relationship is problematic.
Yucky.
it's the most authentic relationship, though.
Is it?
Authentically toxic.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it's as a marriage and family therapist, let me tell you, their relationship was built on a traumatic event, and that's why their marriage didn't survive. So yeah, that's
Two
kind
very
of
different people. Two very different people.
I think a lot when I hear people who complain about the sequels about my friend that was one of those like, oh, I was there. You don't know what it's like. I was there in the 70s and I walked into the theater and then we got in line to see it again. Whenever they announced the sequel trilogy, he was like, I hate the EU. I don't want that. I want a grizzled, lonely Luke or Han who Leia left his grumpy ass, and I want a hermit Luke who's off in the woods somewhere, like separate from civilization. Like these are my version of the characters. And when I watched the movie, I was like, this is somebody's canon. This is what
this is what they wanted. Yeah.
You know, just
Now they're giving us
just
what we
not
want,
Luke's,
though.
just not Mark's.
Because they're picking and choosing the best parts of like Legends and bringing it back, which I totally
Absolutely.
love. Like the HKs. So this is the first time, other than the Aftermath novel, I think in canon, we've seen an HK reference.
Hmm. And they've only gone up 4 iterations.
So
This is
weren't the
like
original,
3,000 years.
weren't the originals HK-47s and these are
47.
HK-87s?
Yeah, no,
Correct. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
40 iterations. They got up to 51 in
Not before. You could argue it's
SWTOR. So in SWTOR, there's up to
Yeah.
51. And then they must have stopped for a long time because they were very dangerous.
You don't need hunter-killer droids.
And then
just
somebody
don't need
found the plans and was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring back these guys right here.
It's like the ABC robot from Judge Dredd.
It works though.
Oh,
And you know,
yeah.
I was kind of like, these look funny, but then I realized they were based off of that old Macquarie concept. So I wasn't so
yeah.
sad that they didn't look like the old HKs we know.
That
I
would be my
loved him.
one complaint, that it doesn't look enough like HK-47 to really.
Yeah, to call an HK.
Yeah.
They just look like droids. They look like they could just be repurposed commando droids or something.
Think about
Which is
how our
kind of
electronics
would've been
changed,
cool.
though. You know, they look very different.
And you know what?
Star Wars doesn't do that, though.
That's true.
Repurposed commando droids would have been a great way to show that they were working for Thrawn.
Yeah, but he's
Because
always.
he loved collecting those Clone Wars era
But
droids.
he also likes collecting all sorts of crazy shit, and probably including these
Oh, yeah.
relics, these HKs.
Like I said, with how
Fact theory, we're gonna see Revan's mask displayed in Thrawn's office. This
So
no, I have no evidence for this.
it
That
would
just
be a good way for him to
It'd
be
be
studying
interesting.
Mandalorians and backdoor make Revan canon again.
That's true.
Ooh. Well, he's
Going
already
back to the
canon.
beginning, right?
Ooh.
Well, did he get? He didn't really.
they use their name as like the name
Oh, that's
of a.
right. Yeah,
One of
his
the
name
Fifth
got brought
Trooper
up.
battalions is Revan Battalion.
Yeah, Thrawn's office is like Odin's treasure room, but for Star Wars. It's just true.
His room just looks like one of ours.
Yeah.
It's- If they throw that Rally Master armor in his room,
Oh
going
no,
to
that
burn
needs
my-
to never
God, I
see
hope
the light of day again.
That was the most
Pablo's,
disappointing part.
Pablo's gonna be like, we need to do this, and John's just like, get out of my office.
Yeah.
Someone definitely had like just a set of random samurai armor, and they were like, "It's fine.
Let's just put
We'll
a helmet on
Yeah.
it.
put the helmet on it."
No one's, well, they're like, no one's gonna notice this, and then Pablo's like, hey, I want to do a feature on that, and they're just like, oh god, please no.
Maybe though, it would be kind of thing that they would do is maybe have like Pre Vizsla's helmet in his office, and also as a nod to John, since that was his
That's an
Star
idea.
Wars character.
So,
Ron would be the
Um,
kind of person to have that Darksaber in his room.
If
do
you
you
got it.
guys think that we are going to see Thrawn in the Mandalorian, or do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think that was just a way of bringing it up and spinning it off for the Ahsoka show we've heard rumored?
I think we'll see it.
I think
I
it
think we'll see
depends. I think it depends on if Thrawn is tied to Gideon.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
next episode will tell us if Thrawn is tied to Gideon.
I'm gonna guess 2 episodes.
Because
I
that's
think
I'm
the
gonna guess
finale.
I think
The
if
finale.
Wait, is there only 7 episodes?
no, there's 8. We have
There's
3
8.
more.
Okay, yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah,
if
because we're in
he's
episode
in the
5 right now.
show at all, I think he's going to be at the season finale, like set up for season 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
that
what
could
I
be
think.
too.
Yeah. No,
I
this
read
is
it-
definitely set up.
I read a
think
theory
we'll, I
today
think
that
we'll know in 2 episodes. I think we'll see him in 3.
I think we'll know next episode because Gideon's coming to face off. Like, Gideon knows where Mando is right now.
Here's my
I
my
think-
guess.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Joe. You go first.
I forgot about that.
I think this is my breakdown of the next 3 episodes in my head. I think Mando is going to take an L next episode to Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the
I totally
7th
forgot about the tracking button.
I think the 7th episode of the season is going to be him getting the child back or reclaiming victory, basically. And then I think
rallying
the
the
last
troops.
episode. I think the last episode is going to be Tython on the one part of it, and then on the flip side of it, I think the last episode is going to be Gideon contacting Thrawn, like, "Hey, I got my ass whooped. I need some help."
That's pretty solid.
I think that'll be really good because Nikki and I were discussing the other day that Gideon's cool, but he's not a big bad.
I
No.
don't, maybe, but I don't think
Well-
we've seen him shine yet. Like, other than that one scene where
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm just going to blow my own dudes away. That's how bad I want what I want, right?
I can agree with that, but that's lieutenant behavior.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's the dragon guarding the room before the boss. He's not.
He's the
So
mini
how long
boss.
before he gets-
He's a mini.
So how long before? If he's the lieutenant, how long before he gets fragged?
Oh,
I've been saying I think Gideon's gone at the end of this season.
so
I
here's
don't
Maybe.
know. Thrawn let Helena Pierce go on for a while, messing things up in Rebels before there was any sort of punishment or repercussion.
that's true.
Oh, you mean
That's
Arenda
true.
Price?
Yeah, Governor
Yes.
Price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helena
Did I say-
Pierce is from Borderlands, I think.
Yeah, Governor Price.
Yeah. Makes
I
no
was like,
sense.
you talking about
But
Price?
So-
and
so-
Callus, her and Callus both went on for a while screwing stuff up before Thrawn was like, all right, I've had enough of this, basically.
Well,
I have a
there
different
was a
theory
purpose. There
on
was a purpose to Callus. There was a purpose to Callus.
Hot Callus.
Price was
Hot
more. Price was more because of their history in regards to what was the planet?
Lawful.
Lothal.
No. That was it was in the first book. It was Baton, which was mentioned in the first episode. Which was mentioned in the first episode of the third season.
So this is
'Cause
my
basically-
theory. And I agree
Yeah.
with you, Steve, maybe other Steve, Nocturnal Alchemy Steve, that Gideon might bust out with a force choke at some point. But I think he's gonna go to Tython, maybe next episode. He's gonna get caught there by Gideon. Gideon's gonna take the kid, and then he's gonna have to go rally the A-team of Avengers of Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Cobb Vanth, pretty much everybody, and rally them to try to get him back. And I'm not sure he's gonna get him back this season. I don't think necessarily he's going to, but it's gonna set up. I think it's gonna set up the fight to connect all the dots that they're all looking for the same group of people. Like Bo-Katan doesn't know that Gideon is the one that's hunting him. He doesn't know that Gideon's the one she's hunting for the Darksaber. But maybe it'll all come together and they'll all be like, oh shit, we're all trying to get the same guy. I also think maybe we'll see the other Mandalorians come back in at some point before the season's over to kind of, I don't know, either be a foil or be like
I don't know. I feel like it's more likely they're going to come in next season.
yeah, you think they're just not going to show up at all this season?
Yeah, 'cause I think Din needs to be a little bit. Oh, you go, Joe.
No, it's okay. Keep going. I'll chime in after.
I think Din needs to become a little more comfortable with the concept of the way is bullshit
Yeah.
before they come back in. Like, if they
That's
come
true.
back in right now, it's going to be right back to the same brainwashing he's already been exposed to.
he needs a minute to be like, yo, this is not the way.
Unless it's just the armorer. And the armorer is
I think-
brought to the table with Bo-Katan.
I think you're going to get one of all the appearances that have been made this season between Cobb, Boba, Bo and her crew, and then Ahsoka. I think you're only going to get one of those returning for these last 3 episodes.
And I think it's Boba.
No,
I think
not
it's
Cobb.
Boba.
Not
I think
Cobb,
it's Boba.
Boba.
Well, maybe it's
I
both.
think-
If he has to
Or-
go back to Tatooine, there's a chance it could be both of them.
The
I
only
think-
chance it's Ahsoka is if Gideon attacks before he gets off Corvus. If
Yeah.
Gideon swoops in, because we haven't seen him leave Corvus yet, if Gideon sweeps in before he leaves Corvus, then you're going to get more Ahsoka. If he leaves the planet, you're not going to see Ahsoka again this season. That's my
Yeah.
opinion on it.
That's
Or
fair.
what I was, how I could see Boba getting into the picture is he goes back for Cobb, but bumps into Boba, being like, "What the hell are you doing with my armor?"
I somehow keep
What you doing in my waters?
I keep forgetting Boba was even in this season. Like I've just been
Yeah.
like,
Because it was the first
oh,
episode,
Ahsoka!
and so much shit has happened since
Come on!
then.
If
Also, if
You
we
asked-
get more Boba, I don't think it has to do with Tatooine, because I think we're forgetting that Boba's one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. Like, Boba could be tracking Din this entire time. Like,
Yeah, but if he
it doesn't
could,
necessarily-
why is he only now going off world? Like where?
And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean he's step for step with him, but it could mean he's tracking him and that he's following Din's footsteps until he can catch up with him. You know,
he could have been looking for his armor that whole time.
I mean, that's if Boba comes back into play. I think that's what it is.
I
think
don't know.
Boba, if Boba comes back into play, he ends up helping Din, and then once the fight's over, he goes, "Okay, now give me my shit so I can leave."
Yeah, I have a hard time believing though he didn't know exactly where his armor was. Like,
I have a hard time
They
believing
thought
he.
that entire town was destroyed, though.
but
Like,
I don't know. How is he just
Well-
chilling there?
Yeah,
don't know.
just happens in that spot. It's a lot. There's a lot of questions in regards to what he's doing.
There's a lot of
Yeah, 'cause
questions. I need a
It ties back
whiteboard.
into episode 5. It ties back into episode 9.
And
It's hard to
and
tell
also,
what he's
who's
been doing.
who's gonna be the Jedi that shows up on Typhon? Is it gonna be the curly, hairy monster guy? Is it gonna be Yaddle?
It's
Is it
not.
gonna be Ezra? Is it gonna be the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is it gonna be Sebastian Stan as Luke? Is it gonna be Mace Windu?
It's
why
not.
do so many people think it's going to be Mace Windu?
Just let him die.
It's very upsetting
wants
the amount of people that are thinking that's a thing.
It's like, oh my god, it's never gonna happen. And if it does, I'm gonna be not happy.
Nick's
I don't
like,
think there's gonna
stop
be
trying to
that.
make Windu happen.
Stop trying to
Yeah.
make Windu happen.
Stop
it'd be-
trying to make it
It
happen.
would have been cool if it was Quinlan Voss, but I'm pretty sure the novel that he died in is canon.
He died.
It is.
Mace Windu's
Yeah.
gonna show up and yell Jake Ferrick.
He's gonna literally show up for 2 seconds and then just drop dead.
Listen, if Maul could come back from the dead and become one of the best villains, anybody basically can.
I still like am really
No,
scared it's gonna
no.
be Cal Scarata.
Yes!
Not him. Sorry, no, Gingerbread.
Cal
Cal
Kestis.
Cal Kestis.
I would much
That's it.
prefer Cal Scarata to Cal Kestis to be.
Yo,
Here's the thing, though. Here's the difference. Maul had room to be a more established character because you really didn't know anything about him and he got killed off so prematurely. Mace had a reason to die.
No,
and it was
I
an
know. I don't think
impactful
he's coming
reason.
back. I just love all of
But,
Twitter's sphere
for someone to
going crazy
argue
about
being
it.
like, "Oh, it's possible," from,
It
you're
is
not a
possible.
story writer, though.
Now I
Whenever,
want Mace to come back just to annoy Nick.
yeah, whenever you don't
You
see a
didn't
body,
see them die.
it's
They're not
possible.
dead.
Yes. See?
That's how Star Wars works.
Yep.
If you didn't see them die, they're not dead.
And even when you do see the body, because I guarantee Fennec Shan's probably going to come back.
I watched Darth Maul be cut in half.
Yep. Yep.
I had an argument with one of my students because he was watching the Clone Wars and he was like, next season Darth Maul's going to be back. I'm like, Darth Maul was cut in half. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, but there was already EU stuff for that. There was already EU material.
I need to find this child and tell him that he owned you. Several years ago, he owned you.
I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? He was cut in half and fell down a shaft. He's not coming back.
Falling down a
Yeah.
reactor pit is a guaranteed
I ate
res.
my word
Yes.
like later that year.
I used to spend I think a good amount of my 5th grade, maybe. I spent a lot of my 6th grade just going on Wikipedia. Like, that was how I got my expanded universe information. Was
Like
I would just look up stuff on Wikipedia. That's how I found out about Quinlan Voss. That's how I found out about Maul being alive in the old canon, and a bunch of other little things. Somehow I didn't find Mandalorians though. I didn't know about Mandalorians until I was like in 2015.
To be fair, they lived in their own obscure little corner of Wikipedia because other than the Republic Commando novels and Boba, like
Not a lot of visual references.
They were kind of like held in like a secret corner of Star Wars, which is why it's so weird seeing it happen like it's happening now. But okay, so
Because George Lucas hated them.
I know, and then he nearly got Filoni like to just completely do the whatever with them, but then he brought him back. So for that, Filoni.
He's like, you know what?
Filoni.
Fuck these guys. They're pacifists now.
So
All you fanboys.
It's because he's pissed off that he created a cool background character and people liked that character more than the rest of like that garbage movie.
yeah.
Not Empire. Empire's great.
I was about to say, I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Empire is peak Star Wars.
So we know that Ewan McGregor was at the volume while they were filming, screen casting a costume. 100% confirmed by Ewan McGregor, as a matter of fact. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they filmed him as a Force ghost or a flashback.
They could have. It could have just been a, hey,
Self-destruct.
look at this
Only-
cool shit we're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
if he knew about Grogu, maybe.
He had to have. I mean, he was a master on the council at the end, right?
Right, and that's exactly what Screen Crush predicted, was that like only the council members really knew about him.
And
High
Jocasta
council
knew.
member.
I'm convinced that she had to have known.
If she had
He probably
like
did.
special access to her section of the library, she absolutely had information on the child.
See, I think that
Grogu.
she's the one that smuggled him out of the temple. It's because she
Very
was
possible.
there. We know she was there because she wasn't leading troops in the field somewhere, right? So
It could have been one of the reasons that in the Vader comic she went back to get that list. It could have been double duty.
yeah, but where
The child could have been on that
She would have
list.
had to stash him somewhere though, and I don't know. So I mean, it's possible, but it could be completely somebody else.
It could literally just be a bunch of fans sitting around on a podcast with probably 10 views, just speculating.
Ewan's playing Satine and Obi-Wan's son. Well, we know that Corky, aka Satine's nephew, is somewhere out there, but I don't think Ewan's playing him. He was
The
wearing
concept
Obi-Wan's
His
costume.
nephew loved child.
Obi-Wan having a child makes me angry. Like, physically angry.
Who do you think Corky was? This nephew.
No.
You
He's
could
a
argue
perfect
he was
Jedi.
young, though.
For the record, Corky might be dead because Bo-Katan she said she was the last of her line.
Right, but
So-
maybe she wouldn't consider him part of her line if
Yeah,
he
she's
was
like,
Obi-Wan's
that
love
fucking nerd's
child.
still alive, but
Yeah, it's like he's kind of useless. He's just a...
Yeah, if he would not be considered her line, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think they might have filmed him for something. We'll see.
also
It's like
I-
extended family.
100%. I also want the Obi-Wan series to be nothing but Obi-Wan puttering around in the desert.
It's just going to be like... I just picture like the Pablo Escobar meme where he's just like wandering around by himself. Just superimpose Obi-Wan. That's your series.
I don't know how much the comics got into it. I guess I stopped reading the Star Wars comics, but for a while, Luke had the Journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi and was reading about Obi-Wan's adventures and how he first was like, no, I have to go into hiding, and then after a while, I was like, no, I'm a motherfucking Jedi, and I'm gonna keep being a motherfucking Jedi on Tatooine. And I would love that, like, to see a show about that.
I want it to just be a desert-based slice of life anime where he's being a hermit.
Hanging out with the
It's
sand
just
people.
him like just
Got a
losing
band
his mind. Just like he's got like some womp rat that like
He's trying to do
may or may not exist.
He's trying to do a good deed for every sand person Anakin killed that one time.
You can't call them same people.
Tusk Tusken Raiders. Why? Why can't we call them Sun People? Sand People.
It's racist. You can't call them sand.
It's racist.
They
I
call
feel
them
like
Sand
Raider
People.
is pretty racist too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's spending 3 years trying to perfect this Krayt
It's like
Dragon
talking to the
mating
weak
call.
at the bar that you've been for 5 years and calling him weak way.
Yeah.
That's canon.
Weequay off-world don't go by their name; they go by their species.
Yep. I found that on Wikipedia.
But can we agree all Weequays except Hondo are awful?
No.
No.
That's
They're
just you, babe.
beautiful.
That bartender was cool.
That is you trying to distance yourself from Requays.
When are we gonna see Hondo, by the way? Like, there's no...
Hondo's the next one I want.
There's
I
a
really
non-zero
don't.
chance he's
It's
not
bad.
showing up.
Totally legitimate shipping company.
Yeah, no, he's totally gonna be here somewhere. Like, that motherfucker is gonna pop up at some point. It's gonna be great.
And they're gonna make up for that fucking costume they put him in Rebels.
I still
Looking
want
like some. There should have been beer stains and a wife beater with that outfit.
He became a legitimate guy.
No, that outfit looked terrible. I should have felt bad.
All right.
Obi-Wan finally goes to the cantina for some reason. He finally decides, all right, I've got to go to the cantina to get some information. And he walks in, and Hondo's the only one in the cantina.
He's like, I gotta keep a low profile. And he's like, I thought you were dead with the rest of the Jedi. And just like, there's just two stormtroopers going.
Maz Kanata had a painting of Hondo in her basement.
Was that for real in the movie? Oh no. I'm
Doesn't
gonna fucking
everybody?
look. I definitely want to.
everyone has a secret Hondo memorial.
And Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2.
Oh shit. I
She
didn't
got
know
that
about that.
painting. Here's the thing. She probably got that painting from Hondo.
Probably it was a gift.
From Hondo.
I fucking love Hondo.
I ship that. I ship that really hard.
Well, we know Hondo is still alive in the sequel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
He's at Galaxy's Edge.
he's at Galaxy's Edge, and that's canon apparently.
Yep.
I
Yep.
need to go again because apparently going solo is not the way to do it.
No! We're all gonna go when this is all over.
And we're gonna get
This.
Really drunk on jet fuel.
Yeah. Dude,
Gonna roll up into the cantina,
a bunch
looking
of
like
times.
smugglers. It's gonna be great.
There,
Oh
Fun
yeah,
fact,
add that to the
they
shit I
won't
gotta freak
put you
out about.
if you're being nice.
What was
If you go the day before they close for a pandemic, you get to try every drink at the bar.
I
They
was so
claim there's
salty
a
about all the
two-drink
wait
limit.
times and everything. I was so salty about the wait list and
That's
everything
just
else.
the nature of.
I know it is, but like, I also haven't been in like 10 years, so
what's the
There's
point
that.
of living here in Florida if you don't go?
No. Nick, it's fine. We'll bring my mom. She'll accidentally get hurt or something like that.
push her in
and
a wheelchair?
We'll just wind up with a pocket full of fast passes.
Can we baby swap with Nick?
Yes.
you would have been able to, but you can't anymore.
Oh. All right.
Closest we got is Stacy.
Hey. I
She's
get
going
too
with, like, a tennis
I
stroller.
get too drunk to be passed off as a baby while I'm at Disney.
You'll be a
I would
sleeping
argue
baby.
that being drunk makes it way easier to pass someone off as a baby.
To be
This is
fair,
a really tall 2-year-old.
Yeah.
all we
Ignore
need
that
to do is
bre-
put
ignore
somebody
the
in a
stuff on her breath.
wheelchair.
Ignore the and we just like kind of stuff peanut butter in, so it just it masks the alcohol.
By the way, the cantina, if you go for breakfast time, makes a killer Bloody Mary. It's so good.
I don't see the point in drinking tomato juice. Why would you do that
No,
to
it's
yourself?
Yeah.
so good. It's so good. All right. Well, okay.
Take your word for it, drunken chef.
So, I honestly, other than going to Tython and we know he's going to have a confrontation with Gideon, like, I just don't know what's going to happen.
It's really pretty open for these next. What do we have? 4 left?
3.
Three?
A lot of balls in the air right now, and I don't know which ones they're gonna catch for the rest of the season.
I
I
There-
don't know which ones they're just gonna let float there or just drop to the floor and forget about.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be any forgetting about it. There might be a ball that they just hide behind their back, and then, like, a year from now go, ha-ha!
Yeah. Like, where's Yaddle?
Yaddle left to
I know.
go. She was like, "I'm gonna get out of here. That's my
Is
baby."
this her son? Excuse me, miss, did you leave your son at the temple?
If it's her son, she left after he was 10 years old, which, I don't know. Maybe that's when he stopped needing a mom.
That's the
None
other
of the
thing.
other kids need him.
This whole, like, he was raised in the temple thing kind of freaks me out because all of the younglings we've ever seen are usually of age where they can at least talk. Right? Like, they're not like infants as far as we've ever seen in anything,
No,
right?
do you remember? No, I guess the episode in Clone Wars.
They were all older.
Yeah.
Like, they were like 3-4 years old, right? The equivalent. Like, I'm convinced that this guy's the equivalent of a probably 2 years old. As the mother of a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
They don't really talk coherently. They don't make a lot of sense. They get very big emotions.
They're
They're
selfish.
babies still. They're very babies. They still need someone to change their diapers. So, like, they didn't, like, have a
Don't even think about
nursery in the Jedi Temple as far as I'm concerned. They never
I'm sure
took
they
kids
did.
that
I'm
young.
sure they did.
Maybe, but we've never seen it.
Depending on the species.
No, because Yaddle and Yoda popped out a baby.
No.
If they did, it was, like, not intentional and just some kind of, like, spores mingling.
Well, that's what I think, right? I think that maybe they're like a weird species that's almost kind of unique. Maybe like Bendu, and maybe they just kind of like split off.
Force create.
I
You have enough midichlorians to just procreate life.
M count, sir.
So I'm gonna make the argument that they're mammalian.
You think they're mammals?
They have hair.
I don't know. I think they're the terror of some swamp planet somewhere.
It could just be a case of
They could be.
being very few of them, and it's unnecessary. It's not like an act of attachment. It's just for necessary procreation for survival.
They've got hair and they've got fingernails.
He was
Yeah.
born the same year as Anakin, so maybe he was created used by the Force.
spare
he's just
force
a
kind
force
of popped out
balancing
of-
itself.
But maybe he's the failed Anakin, like the Palpatine creation. That's a terrible theory. So we'll
I know
actually-
we are
we'll
making a
actually-
lot of weird theories, but that's part of the fun. But yeah, like I don't know. It's very weird. I have more questions now than I did when they found him in his little, pram. Like the fact that he was
Which
at
is
the
good.
temple,
Nice.
and like someone took, like, to me that's just a lot weirder than him existing somewhere and then I
Well,
don't know.
what's nice about that is you don't have another case where like, he just is so connected with the Force. He just knows the Force. Like he was.
Yeah, I
trained
was
to do stuff.
relieved that he like has had training and just wasn't instinctively super good. Well, not super good, but like instinctively using the Force.
Yeah.
He's male though.
Well,
so no
he could
one
have.
can call
He
him a
could have
man.
been super good, but obviously he hasn't really, use it or lose it.
Has
Yeah.
Baby Yoda ever held a lightsaber?
No, I mean, would he have?
I
No,
don't- I
you
don't know
can't
if
give
Baby
a
Yoda did
toddler
or
a
Grogu.
lightsaber.
That's a
Too
terrible
young. Too young.
Think about the training simulations with the younglings, all their little
Yeah, but
helmets
they
on.
were
You'll-
Yeah, but they
older.
weren't-
Too little for that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the
Yeah.
hand-eye coordination for it.
When I
He can barely
give my
stand up.
2-year-old a weapon, or even when I give him things that are not a weapon, he immediately goes and hits everybody with it. Like, you cannot trust a 2-year-old.
Joe, don't
My
you remember
dude
that
is
Star
50
Wars
years
remake?
old.
You make me concerned for your children, Joe.
Oh, I can confirm a 2-year-old will hit you hard with a lightsaber.
Yes.
Confirm.
Super hard. Or with anything that's a stick or a brick.
Anything that has range.
Yeah. But I think... So everybody was kind of mad that Ahsoka... Like, they're saying, oh, she broke her word and didn't take him to train. But I think...
They can fuck off.
I think little Grogu there pretty much force connected and told her, I don't want to leave my daddy. And I think she didn't want to do
I
that.
think she saw that too.
Yeah. But I don't think she
realized.
directly
I
told
don't
him,
think-
Mando, that.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
think that's what
as
she
you know,
knows.
as he said, when they were dealing with, when he was talking about Morgan, he's like, I never agreed to the terms.
Yeah.
I just
from a certain point of view.
Really sad to like put on a toddler the decision of like stay with your dad or be a
Go
power
be a hermit again.
like he
Why not?
The courts do it all the time.
I think
I was gonna say it's literally the case of like two like parents fighting amongst who has custody of the child, and they put the child like at equal distance between the two and make them walk to one or the other.
man, my kid would choose his dad. One of them.
I mean, yeah, he's 50, but he's also a member of a species that can live over 900 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 50, but he's, I have to wonder. He's 50, but maybe he's not really 50. If we knew that he was raised in a temple, maybe he was in stasis.
Maybe he was poorly socialized for about 30 years because he was in that pram just chilling there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If
Like,
he
does
was
he like?
kept in secret, if he was kept in secret at the temple, he was probably pretty isolated to begin with.
which is why he doesn't know how to share.
Yep, no sharing. He wants all the. I mean, let's be honest. If I could use the Force, I would use it to steal cookies all the time. Like that would.
Especially if they're $50. Especially if they're $50.
Macaroons.
They
But
must
yeah.
be pretty good.
I don't know. Like
I'm not
I
willing
just,
to pay to find out.
I think Ahsoka has still a real hard time dealing with all the hypocrisy and bad vibes of the Jedi Order, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to perpetrate that cycle again, and that's why she doesn't want to take him.
No, it's going to be Cal Kestis if it's anybody.
And honestly, a good part of that, I totally agree. I totally agree that, like, she's obviously concerned because of what happened to Anakin. Like, it's a very, very strong attachment. And as young as he is, like, obviously, we've seen instances of him be selfish, to be violent, to really be impulsive. It's not a far throw for her to be concerned.
Well, and she saw it towards the end with Ezra too in the chalk zone. What is it? Oh, Joe's in like the green the green zone.
Joe's like, what is?
I don't know what's happening.
Joe's in like some 1990s video game,
Trying to infect my
like-
computer with a virus.
But yeah, like
running
like,
on Windows 95.
when she was with Ezra in the chalk zone, which is like the last time we saw her before all this, like she saw Ezra struggling with that choice too of his attachments. Like he made the right choice by not going back and grabbing Kanan. But like she saw how hard that was for him too. She knew even the best Jedi with great training and great teachers can still.
She even mentioned, she's like, you couldn't save your master, I couldn't save mine.
Yeah.
But did she feel it when Anakin came back to the light?
That is a question.
Oh, that comic?
I don't know.
That comic
know.
is upsetting,
It is.
Oh, yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah,
It
Luke
is.
didn't need to tell her.
Yeah.
I think she knew.
That was
And I
the
think
feel.
she knew, and then I think she felt him die. For sure.
She may have. I think she may have felt him die, but I think at that point, like, she really wasn't trying to feel for him after she found out. After
No,
she
but
knew he was
if she
too far
felt him
gone.
go back to the light, that would have been, and then he immediately dies. Like, that would have been like a twofer.
Actually, really funny to think about like all these Jedi that apparently were just hiding out during all of this drama.
Yeah!
It makes me
Learn
upset.
from the best.
It makes me upset.
Like, where? So what was she doing? Like, what was she doing? Was she stuck in the chalk zone? Was she stuck? Where did she go?
No, she went immediately back. She went back to Malachor.
Right, I know, but was she stuck there? Like, when did she get off world? How'd she get off world? Why didn't she participate in the rebellion? What was she doing?
She found Vader's tie and just stood on top of it.
No, Maul took Vader's time.
She's
You're
like,
right,
this is a
Maul
good
did.
photo. I'm doing it.
It's a good photo op.
She,
Let me
she
gram
watched-
this.
She
Let me
saw
gram
the
this.
entry. She's like, I wonder how hard this is.
So it's weird, like what was going on. We have a bunch of Jedi that we know that existed at some point in canon that aren't confirmed dead. So where were they? Like, how many of them just became like full on like cowards? Like, kind of like even in Fallen Order series, the one who ends up being the master to Cal Kestis, she kind of had given up on everything.
And we had given up on her.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
I think wasn't she also in Wolfenstein 2 or something like that?
Oh, the
I feel like
actress?
she was. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe I'm just like saying that those. I'm not even going there.
I mean, yeah, so
I have
Yoda
no way to,
and
I have no way to
Obi-Wan...
spin that without sounding more racist than it was intended. I apologize.
Yoda and Obi-Wan did tell them to scatter. That's
I'm working it
true,
up.
right? But, like, wouldn't... When all this stuff about rebellion... What if when that first Death Star blew up and they're like... And they heard, oh, this guy named Skywalker did it. You don't think they would have come crawling out the
No, they were
woodwork?
like, you know what? I've been wrapped up in enough of Anakin's goddamn drama. I'm done.
I feel like the thing most Jedi learned was avoid Skywalkers like the plague.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, how many? I mean, I know we joke about the increasing number of Jedis that apparently survived Order 66 because it just keeps being the plot line. But
Yep.
other than, I don't think Cal Kestis is alive in the time period we're talking about for Mando because I think they're still gonna have a follow-up game for that series.
he's
and
gonna
he's
die in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Marin's
So I
the
don't
better
think
character.
Cal Kestis, I don't think Cal Kestis you really have to question too much. Like, where was Cal Kestis during the rebellion? Caleb Doom, Kanan obviously isn't there. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only options you're really looking at, like she says, there's not many Jedi left. Like,
And a
it's
lot of
just
those
Luke.
Jedi understood
It's just
that
Luke.
you have
Or
to
Luke and
stay
Leia.
hidden.
And Leia. Yeah. And Harry,
Yeah, and that's
Harry
the-
guy, and Yaddle, and... I don't know. Because even if, like, Order 66 wiped out, like, 90% of them, and there's still a good amount, right, that could have been scattered.
And a
I
lot of them
actually just
didn't want to
went
come
back,
out.
And Quinlan Voss is assumed to have survived Order 66, and that's the last time we see him.
But he dies in that book.
He doesn't. I just checked.
Oh!
The other person dies. The other person in the book dies.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
Saj.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. She dies for him, right?
Yes.
She dies to save him.
Spoilers.
I don't know if it was worth it.
It's been out for like
Right.
5 years.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
5 years is
If
enough.
you're not going to read the book, you're not going to read the book.
So
Yeah.
Quinlan, so
I
Quinlan
need you to give me a
Voss.
10-year window on spoilers.
I'm out here arguing that 3 days is too much for the
3
Mando, so-
days.
Yeah.
Joe, you couldn't
I
make
think
it
3
one
days
day
is
on
fair.
Twitter.
Okay, I was
I think
right.
3 days is perfectly appropriate
Yeah.
for
3
everything.
days.
Especially because it's like only like 45 minutes long. usually. You
Especially
could
something
fit
that comes
in.
out on a Friday gives you the whole weekend to watch it if you are busy.
Yeah, that's true. That's why Mando Monday exists. Disney's broken the seal. We're just following their lead. Whoa,
And
Quinlan
just
Voss! That changes everything. I think he's a big potential then, because he
No,
was
he can
around.
stay. He can
I don't
stay
think
in the
anybody's
background.
coming for Grogu. I don't think he's gonna reach out. Like,
I think
Mando's gonna go through all of this shit, put him up on top of like the seat, and Grogu's just gonna
He's
look
gonna-
at him.
he's gonna
sad.
like,
I'm just gonna purge
no,
this
Dad.
He's gonna take
Yeah,
that potential and just go.
temple.
it's gonna be like he's gonna be like in the Lion King. It's gonna be like
It's gonna be like Grogu's first like verbal words.
no. He's gonna say no, like all 2-year-olds. That's their first
Oh,
word.
man. Finale, Grogu speaks for the first time? Oh, that would be,
He's
yeah.
gonna be like, get over
Yeah.
here, kid, and he's gonna be like, no.
He's just gonna
And
drop
Mando's
a,
gonna be like,
"Fuck you."
what?
Jake Ferret.
You've been spending way too much time around your kid, Steve.
I think so. I don't think somebody's gonna physically come. That's why I think if it's gonna be a Force ghost, maybe. It's because a spirit would sense if they're connected to the temple. It's like a nexus, right? They might sense him even if
Sure.
he's not reaching out.
Yeah, it could be. I could see
I think
that.
Depending on where he is.
reluctantly reach out, and he's gonna feel something that doesn't feel very good in
Nah.
return. He's not gonna feel Luke Skywalker or whatever. He's gonna feel something dark out there that's not
That's
good.
a
and
nice way to
gonna be
put it.
good.
That's a
He's
hell of
gonna-
a way to
he's
word
gonna
that.
feel it and say, "Dad, I'm done with this. Let's go. Give me
The
my
way this is.
Let's
The
get
way
off
this
of this
is.
rock. Let's go. Palpatine's out there in the unknown regions. I'm not about
What?
this.
It could also
He's
be
just like,
Yoda.
He's just like, back it up. Just back it up.
You don't
If
think?
we get some dumbass, no, your father I am from like Yoda Force Ghost.
Oh my god.
No, I don't think I don't think so, but I think maybe Yoda would let him know where they were from or something. Like
And that's where his first no comes from.
He just has to do the
No.
laugh. If Force Ghost Yoda just has to do the laugh again, like he did to Luke.
That's what I'm saying. Just takes that potential and just goes.
yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions now. There's more fucking questions. I'm seriously gonna have to make a conspiracy.
Interesting.
Interesting.
record-
Fucking Filoni.
For the record, I wasn't crazy. Seer from Fallen Order was the same voice
Yeah,
actor
it
as
was
Deborah
the
Wilson.
same-
He was
yeah.
also in New Colossus. Yep. So I was like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Seer is another character who is way cooler than Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Every character in that game
Except for
besides
Cal
Cal
Kestis.
Kestis is cool.
Yeah.
Cal Kestis is basically like Mark Wahlberg in like Planet of the Apes. It's just like heavy breathing and just.
Yeah.
Like, Seer is cool.
Marin's
Trilla
awesome.
is really cool.
Trilla
Marin is
dies
really
though,
cool.
right?
She does.
Which
But,
is
like,
It's a shame because she should have been the main character of that game. She's way more interesting. But, you know, Rey was already doing the girl.
You would have seen an amazing thing. It would have made up for Battlefront being like, hey, we're going to show you bad guys. Ah, just kidding.
But this is also why I appreciate that the two leaders of the different Mandalorian factions we've seen so far are women, so it makes up for it. Yeah.
At this point, we might as well just call Mandalorians matriarchal. Like,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all the
they don't
families,
recognize
with the exception
gender.
of Pre Vizsla, he's the only. And then Fen Rao ran the Protectors, but they weren't technically really a clan. No, I guess in Rebels we
No,
did see a
they
couple
were-
clan
they were
leaders that were men.
They were
but-
the best from each clan. They were the best from each clan.
Right, but then
Holding to
some of the
Protector.
clans we saw at the end of in the Rebels arc were led by men. Eldar, I think, and but the
Eldar's got a
all
hella
the
cool
ones with
handlebar
speaking
mustache.
roles were women though, so that's like
It's-
the
we're seeing a
opposite
lot
of
of that
what we
mix.
normally see, right?
And it's really showing, like, the whole idea of it being a creed
Yeah.
that, like, is representative of
Let me s-
everyone.
If Fen Rao came back and Kevin McKidd played him, by the way, that would be like my thing. Like I'd lose my fucking shit.
Interesting.
By the way.
It's possible. It's possible. We may see that.
Space furriness.
Space Readers, yes. If you guys haven't seen Rome,
Rome is so
it's
good.
before The Mandalorian, it was my favorite show of all time. So
I'm a Titan Kulo kind of guy, though.
I love the fact that he also was a Mandalorian because he was the voice of Gar Saxon, even though Gar Saxon was real shitty. He voiced him, and
I
then
actually didn't realize he was Gar Saxon.
and then the guy that was Gar Saxon's brother, I can't remember, Tiber Saxon, right?
Yeah.
Was
Drake,
voiced by
Drake.
Brutus from Rome.
Dude, the fact
That guy
that
looks
Drake
just like
has
Drake.
not done a Tiber Saxon costume is a sin because I'm pretty sure that Tiber Saxon was based off Drake.
Well,
That's what Grace looks like, a space Nazi.
Dave Filoni saw him and was like, huh, that's an Aryan-looking individual.
interesting. I mean,
Interesting.
we know he'll do that shit though. What? No, John, I did not see what you posted on Facebook 1 to 2 hours ago. You will have to tell me what that was. All right, but while he's doing that, who do we want to see? All right, I know we talked about this in our group chat earlier, but I want to see Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I also think, I know a lot of people are like, he doesn't need to be in every franchise, but Benedict Cumberbatch could absolutely pull it off.
I still think Cavill could do it. He's just a bit ripped for it. But I think,
And
like,
he's too young.
how do Chiss age? Do they age like humans?
I mean, I don't know. I guess he could do it. Jason Isaacs is also awesome, but he did.
He was the,
Well, Mads
Who did you say
Mikkelsen
could
can't
do
do
it?
it because he was already in whatchamacallit. In Rogue
I said
One.
I thought Henry Cavill could do it. I think his performance as Geralt shows us he's got the deeper voice and the...
That's an interesting choice.
And
Does he have the chin?
I already have weird feelings for Thrawn. I'll just
yeah, no,
double-
Does he have the chin for it?
What'd you
he's
say,
got
Jeff?
like a chiseled chin.
Yeah, you need that square look.
He's got
He's
that.
got the square jaw.
He
and
does
the-
have that.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
I
One
don't
second, I'm gonna
know.
turn him blue.
I'd be kind of torn if Thrawn
I
was
don't
hot.
know.
I don't.
I never thought of. I don't think it's Thrawn. Like I think of Thrawn like as that. Like Thrawn's skinny. Like
Right.
Henry Cavill's a big
That's
dude.
the
I
one
know, that's
thing.
what I was saying.
I
He's
think
too
he's
beefy.
just too
He's too
big.
beefy.
I've already said it's going to be Lars Mikkelsen.
Well, Lars
Especially after I watched-
Mikkelsen voiced him and was
That's
Well,
great.
awesome.
also, I saw his performance in Sherlock, and I'm
Yo,
like,
it's
there's
good.
no way.
That's just like
He's a good
Ron
actor
House
too. He's
of
not just a
Cards.
good voice actor.
and House
He's
of
really
Cards.
good in House of
Exactly.
Cards, yeah.
Those two things are like what
That's
makes
why
me
when I
feel
see
like
him
it.
now, I immediately think of Putin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I mean, he's got it. I think the only thing is he's kind of short, but like they can put like
who cares?
lifts on him.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is short. Look, didn't matter for him.
Just take the Hobbit approach.
Yeah, they're saying John Hamm. I know we were talking about John Hamm earlier
Oh.
too. I don't
was
know
saying?
though.
I
No.
don't know if I'm here for that.
Who
No.
the hell was
I
saying
like
that?
John
John
Hamm,
Hamm.
but I just don't know if he could.
How the fuck would you do that? That makes no sense.
He just doesn't. There's something
Who
about it.
said
it's
John
somebody-
Hamm?
A
Who
lot
said John Hamm?
on my Facebook feed earlier. I've been watching it.
The people who are watching us on Twitch right now.
Hey John, I can't click that link by the way because it says StarWarsForever.com. Your connection is not private. I don't know what it's doing. It wants to steal my
John?
information. I can't let it happen. You think
John
John Hamm has
Hamm
the
does-
face? I don't know.
John Hamm does Boba's voice
I know.
in the audiobook versions of the what's that weird book? The from a
Different point of view.
John
Point
Hamm.
of view.
It's terrible.
lost.
It's terrible.
The only other person I could see doing, and maybe this is just because we used to see it photoshopped a lot, was like David Tennant, but that was back in the old days of like Heir to the Empire or
Nah,
whatever it was.
he's too squirrely.
Again, this was back in the old.
And Pierce,
You
I know they said
Photoshop,
Pierce
and it's like, if
Brosnan
we ever saw him in real life?
because
What?
they used Pierce Brosnan as the
used
inspiration for that
Brosnan for
art,
that.
but I don't
Yeah,
think
for
that
that
looks right. I think it looks weird.
Probably not.
I don't.
No,
It's just
it's
funny.
got. There's no way it won't be Lars if we see him.
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
Christopher,
I literally.
I'm behind some Christopher X. I love him.
Yeah,
Eccleston is him.
that wouldn't be bad.
Excited for that.
The villain from Gone in 60 Seconds, Joe.
Oh yeah, that's another
Oh.
one of. That's another
Okay.
Doctor Who actor. No,
That actually
No.
worked. Thank you, Steve.
no.
You're welcome. I knew which movie
No.
you would know him from.
Yeah, that's actually. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, one of the doctors.
And
My favorite
he was also. Oh my god, I can't fucking remember the name, but the movie was terrible anyway.
I don't care for the show, but that's.
No, he was
the
in
Dark
G.I.
Elf in
Joe.
Thor He's also the Dark Elf in
Bruce
Thor: Dark
Willis?
World.
No, not Bruce.
Oh, I know who
Willis.
you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
He is the
Yes,
Dark
yes,
Elf.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
that
think it's
movie
the
was
same
bad
actor,
though.
I'm pretty sure it's all the same actor you're talking about, Stacey.
What, Christopher Eccleston?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was who you were thinking of.
No, he's,
Jay.
Does Ron just look like a Russian dude? Is that what it actually is?
I mean, kind of. Why
Hmm.
not?
I feel like more important than the look, the voice should be right.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, and that's why I'm just set on Lars because his voice was just great.
and that's what got me the Cavill because I feel like he could have that kind of a voice.
Damn it, he's just so.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
I
I know.
I
I know
fucking
the
knew
issue
it.
with it.
The
where
person
I
from
was
G.I. Joe that you're thinking of was Christopher Eccleston.
Right, but what's the fucking character's name? I'm like, it's blanking in my
Destro.
head. Destro. Yes.
He was in G.I.
I didn't
Okay,
realize he was in G.I. Joe.
now I'm
Yeah,
mad.
he was the Scottish whatever. He was like the Irish whatever.
It was such a
Wow.
terrible G.I.
arms
Joe.
dealer.
That he was too proud to do more like Doctor Who stuff, but then went on to be in Dark World and G.I. Joe.
Which
like,
he
I was
said
gonna say,
he
what
did
was
for
the-
the money. Like,
was
he did an interview and he said, I needed money, so I did it.
Yeah, you don't turn down MCU money, even if
No.
you're in the worst MCU movie.
Yeah, no, but he
Yeah,
said
let's
it
see-
straight up. G.I.
Let's see
Joe
what he
and
went on.
that.
Let's see the better things he went on to do. The War of the Dark World.
Aidan Gillen, who was Littlefinger.
The Leftovers, which I've never heard of.
Oh, The
that's
Leftovers
not
is
saying
a
much.
good show on HBO.
Did you say
Uh,
Littlefinger?
The guy who played Littlefinger, Aidan Gillen.
He was in Legend, which was in 2015. The Legend with
As
Tom
a who's
Hardy.
Ron casting.
as two people.
He's too squirrely too. Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't even think of him as Littlefinger anymore. I think of him as that guy that Bane throws out of the airplane.
Who?
He's the mayor from The Wire.
Joe is just working really hard to block off every Game of Thrones reference in his head.
He's just trying to
It's
piss
so
people off.
sad. It's so
None of this point.
sad.
He's always been doing that.
Man, It's almost impressive how much they killed that show.
I know, like,
Like-
I've never gonna rewatch it again, basically. Which
No,
is,
it spoiled
it's
it. It
dead.
completely ruined that show. Even at even like early episodes, like I got a recommendation to watch this one scene that I really liked, and I was just like, I can't do it.
Do you? I mean, can you imagine like how much we love Mando, and then they would fuck it up so bad we never want to watch it again? I mean, that won't happen. But that's
It's like concept of
Why would you put that idea out into the universe? Number one.
Din just kind of forgot that he has a jetpack.
what? Oh, for which one?
No, like that's just
Oh,
this
yeah.
Oh, is it like in all this time he somehow forgot about the jetpack? It's like
It's
no,
already, it's already got both
he
of
mentioned
them.
it the past 2 episodes, and he just forgot it for God's sake for you to rush through this and go on to your next paycheck. Oh wait, they turned you down because they saw what you did.
Wow. Yeah.
I already got live action Bo-Katan. It doesn't matter what happens from here.
I know. I mean, that she is my
Yeah.
favorite character from Star Wars. And Katie Sackhoff is lighting people off on fucking social media for giving her
She's the
shit about
coolest.
spoilers. So I'm
She's
like,
the
you are my
coolest.
queen. Thank you. But you know, I'm
I'm
kind of
like
sad that they.
I'm
That,
like afraid to stand Mandalorian characters now because
I just love.
Thank God, Katie Sackhoff appears to be super freaking cool.
Yeah, I've heard whispers of that. I know she's a big.
I've
she's a big
always
nerd.
loved her since.
maybe she'll come hang out
Battlestar.
with us at our next celebration bash.
Yes!
to.
Oh my
She's gonna
god!
be like, you know who I am.
No, everybody's gonna be chasing her around. Are you kidding me? Like everybody from Mandalorian, like they're not gonna get any quarter, man. They're gonna be chased around like with a pack of rabid fans. They can't go anywhere in Celebration. It's
They're
a whole new
going to
world.
they are going to be blackout drunk for the entire celebration.
Dave Filoni's gonna have to walk around in a Mando costume.
We just have to get him dressed up like Ian, and then nobody will recognize him.
We'll just get Ian to be his body double for the
Yeah,
weekend.
have him be a decoy. Be like, okay, I want to walk
Oh,
this
that
way,
was
so
so
you go
funny.
that way.
That was so funny when I saw. I didn't know who Ian was at the time, but I keep getting told that I need to meet him. I keep getting told he's a great guy. Yeah, when we went to Celebration Orlando in 2017, I remembered seeing. I guess it was Ian who was dressed up as Dave Filoni, and then later on I walked by and I was like, "Oh, there's that Dave Filoni cosplayer again.
It was really Dave Filoni.
That's Dave Filoni." Yeah. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Nikki did this at the bash.
I waved to Dave Filoni like
That was that was at the bench.
Yeah. See, they're not gonna be able to go anywhere anymore.
And then I'm not going off
It's a
about
whole new world
who
for
was.
them. Like we used to be
Yeah.
like, you know, the redheaded stepchild of Lucasfilms over the MMCC, but I think we're in charge now. We're running this
Suddenly,
bitch.
yeah, 501st has a new reason.
Everyone wants to be a Mando now. Listen.
501st members have a new reason to be salty at us. It's great.
Yes. Though they're gonna be trying to take all the characters too. Have
We
it
have
out.
some
They already
fantastic. We have some fantastic people here in Florida who are super close with us when it comes to. All right, who's
What
okay,
is-
never mind.
What is that?
Why is someone streaming? Oh, Nikki, you're streaming.
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
I lost her voice.
Oh, she's trying to screen share. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I
Oh.
was doing it. Ian and
Um,
Dave Filoni standing next to each other.
I think you have to double
Yeah, it's-
click it or something if you want it to be full stream.
Let
Like,
me
double
see.
click it.
Yeah, you gotta. Or no, Stacy, you would have to do that. You do it.
Oh, I
because it's
have to
showing
do.
your
Oh,
screen.
that's right. Hold on. Let me see.
I will try and be back in a couple minutes if you guys are already.
There we go.
Have a good night. But
Yeah.
I gotta do some work. So
He needs
See
a little
you,
gray.
Joe.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
That's funny. Oh, well now I now know the way to screen share stuff. That's cool. Yes, that is a
This
great
is like-
cosplay.
This is like the stream for that for like the. He needs like a touch of gray, but he needs a
In a
he needs
black
hat.
hat.
I'm being very particular, but no, he does a fantastic Dave Filoni, and he fooled me for a second. He fooled me enough for me to not recognize the actual Dave Filoni for a second. To be like, oh, you're another cosplayer.
I've been trying to get Dave Filoni to cosplay as Ian for Halloween one year.
Oh, well, sorry, I didn't post in Discord because I posted on Facebook and I'm lazy. I need to set up a bot that lets me just auto post to Discord when I go live.
And that's it. That is a thing.
That is the thing we need.
Because I
to
still
do.
get meetings for my internship where it's like, hey, there's a meeting at 5, and then our boss has to come in and be like, no, that's still not a thing.
Just kidding. No one's in person. We don't do meetings anymore.
It's not even like a just kidding thing. It's like the guy who used to run it stepped down, and now it's just like he's like, I don't know how to fix this.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Well,
No one I'm working with is watching this, so we're good.
somebody I work with might be watching this. He's the only one I told that I exist as a streamer, so.
The
But
only one
he's
I told
cool.
I exist.
He's cool. It's okay.
I think one of my worst fears in life is the concept of one of my students finding, like, something like this.
He accidentally outed me as a Mando cosplayer to my whole
That's
department.
right, you were telling
Yeah,
us.
so it's because I posted a screenshot of something from my browser, and up in my bookmarks bar, you can see the the Mando Mercs link and the dented helmet and all that stuff. And he's like, "Wait, I want to hear more about Mandalorian cosplay," and I'm like, "Oh no!"
I had that happen on a like a what's the word for it?
I don't know.
It's like a group that I'm in with my church, like a steering committee. It's a committee that I'm in with
Oh.
my church, and we're
You,
like our first
accidentally
ever
shared a link.
Zoom. I'm introducing myself, and someone's like, "Nice to meet you, Vicky. Also, could you tell me about those helmets on the bed behind you?
That's right.
I would like to know more."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a funny.
It's cool now to be a Mando costumer. So, I mean, I thought it was always cool, but now everybody thinks it's cool. So,
Here's a fantastic story from one of our members. This was a couple years ago. One of our council members, Josh Cruz, was telling us in our group chat a while ago about how he had these Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they were Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons that showed up at his house, and Josh figured, he'd listen to him, invite him in. And it turns out the guys saw the Mandalorian helmets. It turned out one of the Mormons or whatever they were, we'll call them Jehovah's Witnesses. One of the Jehovah's Witnesses was a father to a Mercs member in Utah. To a Mercs OM in Utah. Of all the people, Utah, wherever it was, it just so happened that one of these religious solicitors had a son in the Mercs and showed up at the house of another Merc. Like in a completely different state. In a completely different state. It was like, holy shit. And then he got a text from the son being like, "Thank you for being so nice to my dad,"
Aww.
A lot of people just kind of tell him to fuck off, but you were so, you welcomed into him. So yeah, super sweet moment.
I would have
cool.
answered the door in my costume and been like, "Sorry, weapons are part of my religion." No, you don't do that in Miami. That's how you get shot. But yeah,
I mean, I had a customer come out with a mask, his button shirt completely unbuttoned, and a gun hanging out of his waistband. So it's not completely out of.
Well,
yeah, that was a little weird.
That's what happens in South Florida.
And surprisingly, my parents were like, "So, and?" It was like,
You've never had a gun pulled on you before?
I've had a gun in my face before. When I was 15, U.S. Marshals came to the house we just moved in looking for the guy who used to live there. And I, turned a corner while they were searching the house, and there was a gun in my face. And I was like,
God!
Didn't you get a gun in your face when you were in Kit one day because you were at the mall?
2015.
No, there was no gun, but SWAT was called. And they yelled at me. And I almost cried.
Oh my God!
They're manhandling. So somebody saw my rifle as we were coming in half kit, and they called mall security. Mall security didn't know what was going on, so they called the police, and the police sent a SWAT team, and they came and found us, and were yelling at me, and were manhandling my gun, and I'm pulling out business cards, going, "We were invited." And then finally they turned and started yelling at the Barnes & Noble guy because they were the ones that didn't tell mall
You were
security.
supposed to, yeah.
The perils of Mando costuming. This is why I don't carry a rifle.
I don't carry mine
We had just got done with. This was before I guess you and Steve were living together, but that 2015 we were actually out. We had just finished another Barnes & Noble troop because it was Star Wars Reads Day. And I remember being at Applebee's, we were all hanging out, and all of a sudden we get a text from Ace saying Nikki had police come to where they said it was an AR-15.
I'm pretty sure even Mandalore messaged me to make sure I was okay. And I'm like,
oh really?
Oh man. Yeah. No, I think I'll just keep the little weapons. I'm
And
gonna
everyone was
get
like-
some
and
updated West Stars though, because those look pretty.
Yeah, I want one. I want the Death Watch version. They're going to be big, though. I think Sergei Kolesnik's going to be selling finished ones. I showed the files that, like, they're already broken down to 3D print.
I have to hope
So-
that Ruby's is gonna make a toy version, because the toy West Stars from the Clone Wars I have are perfect size for my hands.
So that means they're, like, way too small for us.
Because the
So
other
they're-
ones
so
are
basically-
too big. Where's the
So
other
basically what you're saying is that they're Derringer sized for the rest of us.
one? Hold on. I gotta find this other one. My kid stole it from me and hid it. I might not be able to find it.
Lesson to all of our viewers, don't have kids.
Where are you? Are you in here?
Concerning sounds.
I have a
I'm expecting to hear like a cat meow and a tire wheel by.
There's one back there somewhere.
No,
That's
I
pretty
have
fun.
a weapons chest where I keep all the lightsabers I let my kids beat me with, and they
It sounded
put
like
this in there.
it sounded like 3 dressers full of silverware just collapsed.
No, it was all the lightsabers and stuff. But look at this. Okay, so this is actually a Ruby's weapon that they actually made true to size, which means it is too big for me. Right?
Well, so
This
with
looks-
most things.
Right.
So are most things.
But the West Stars they had were perfect. They were small. So,
So they were too small.
no, they were perfect for me. And now I'm going to have
Yeah,
to
which means they're too small.
boo. But, oh, well, and then there's this.
Are you throwing things?
No, it was just opening a cabinet. This is too small for
It sounds
me.
like you're tearing apart half of your, like just half of your living space
This is
to
no.
just get like do the
listen.
most basic thing.
This is
your
my
cat's behind you,
Mandalorian
like,
cave.
why are you so violent?
This is too
That
small.
was a great cat tap.
I'm gonna be completely honest. That looks really small.
It is very small. It was perfect for my kid for his costume. I mean, it's actually.
I don't think it's that poorly sized for you.
No, for me, it's
It-
actually not so
For
bad.
you, yeah. For her, yeah. It looks small though.
It
I
fits
mean, you
right
would
on my
probably-
shoulder. Like, it would not fit on any other adult's shoulder, basically.
I should send you my E11. I should send you that Clone Wars.
Well,
Blast Red one that
I
has
have. I would go digging through my chest again, but I'm not going to. But I also have the E11 in there, and it's also small for me.
No, sorry, not the E11, the GC15.
No, I don't have that one. But yeah. All right. So, as we wrap this up, because I have to work in the morning, of course. What are our top predictions for next week? This is tough.
Filler episode.
Filler. He's gonna get sidetracked. Side mission.
Side mission.
Sidetracked by the crew from the other filler episode from last season.
Enter
Oh,
Ganadamar.
like so they got captured. You think they're gonna escape?
It's literally just going to be like a repeat of the format from the first season. Like everything's going to be like dressed up different.
Well, you know
but-
what? Rick Fu would. I always pronounce his name wrong. Rick, the director from
Yeah.
last season, who directed that episode, right? He definitely's directed an episode in this season, but he hasn't. His episode hasn't come up yet, so it could be.
It's one of my.
My least favorite episodes from last season.
Which one?
The
The
prison
Prison
break.
Break? Oh, you,
Which is a shame because like the
I liked it.
concept of the prison break was great. I think it's a weird
liked it.
one where I just didn't like the characters, and that does
Yeah.
not happen often for me in Star
I
Wars.
liked the episode, and honestly, what was funny about it was that's how I got introduced to Bill Burr, and now he's one of my favorite comedians.
He used
I-
to shit on Star Wars all the time too. That's what's
Oh,
really
yeah.
funny about it.
He shits on a lot of stuff.
I know,
don't-
but
don't-
like very specifically
don't-
Star Wars, and then here he ends up in it. So,
he's like, oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever done.
I mean, that could be cool though. If that, oh, Joe's back.
Joe's coming back with his dissenting opinion.
What now?
We're talking about what our predictions are going to be for this next episode because we don't have a lot to go on.
Moff Gideon, Dark Troopers,
You think they're gonna just
Bad
go
thing.
for it, right?
Bad
That's
right
thing.
what,
next
yeah.
week.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
honestly
it's-
think my biggest toss-up is whether or not he's going to make it off Corvus before it happens.
I think he will. And I think they're going to ambush him in space.
Or
You might
they
be right
could,
just because cinematically it looks better if he leaves and they show the tracking device again, and then Gideon shows up wherever
He may have
lands.
to. He may get taken by either that Imperial cruiser, or a full-size Star Destroyer, and then have to find a way off that ship to get
do
help
you think he has a
by
full-size
the end of the
destroyer?
episode.
You don't think?
We haven't really gotten our.
It's possible.
Sorry. Go ahead, Stacey.
No, I just think he has that one ship we saw, which is not the full-size one. There
No.
weren't that many Star Destroyers left.
I think it's a light cruiser. It's a light cruiser.
They made a whole big deal about how few there were, and they talked about the admirals that still existed that had them, like Sloane and all that in the books. You don't.
I don't
like.
remember that.
That's an aftermath.
There you go.
Last season wasn't Chapter 6 the ship episode?
Prison
with the
Break.
That's what we're
giant-
talking about, the prison break, right?
Or you might get.
Steve
you might
thinks
get a
they're
ship
coming
episode
back.
Again.
Steve thinks they're
You might
going to
get a
come
ship
back
episode.
and waylay them in space or something.
They confirmed that because the episode 2 confirmed that the people were definitely in custody.
That might
they were
be-
in episode 2.
Gideon might actually like orchestrate breaking them out and like be like, "Oh, you want to get Mando? I'll get you to Mando. Bring me the
I
kid."
don't think so. I think he's going to utilize special forces.
Yeah, I think he's done with bounty hunters. I don't think he has had a good track record now. I think
No,
he's gonna.
it's going to be. He's basically like, if the Dark Troopers don't work, he's going to bring another Mandos. But that's me wanting my Imperial Mando in there, really.
Man, those
Gross.
Dark Troopers. I'm curious to see if they're the droid kind or the cyborg kind.
Gideon brings Gar Saxon, and we just keep getting one-offs of reappearance.
But he's dead. He can't come back. Like he's
Filoni's
dead.
playing the hits.
He's dead though. There's gonna be
I'm sure
another
he's
Saxon
fine.
brother. There's gonna be a third.
Mando, more sensitive Mando zombie.
There'll be a third Saxon brother.
You just said a bunch of words I don't like.
Yeah, I had the same reaction where I was just like,
It's like my
I suddenly
fanfic.
don't like you.
We've
Yeah.
seen force sensitive zombies before in canon.
But were they Mandos?
No.
See, we're missing the Mando element. Then it's like the ultimate
Making-
edgelord.
They're just. It's gonna be what's his name? The force sensitive Mando from
Bard
the
and Juice.
Barthen Jusek. Barthen Jusek is just gonna show up.
I should not have come back to this. Also, Steve is like the podcast version of Gene's guy right now. He's just barely in the shot.
What? He's fine on my
Gene's
screen.
guy.
He's
Guy
right
who's in
there.
the scene in the background.
Admiral
This is the guy-
Admiral Jeans.
This is the guy who's shooting vertically on his phone in traffic.
Admiral whatever Jeans. He's gonna be the new Wilro Hood cosplay.
I thought
of
for a second he was
Giant
going to
Con.
turn his phone and still be vertical.
I
There
Nope.
was
mean,
that
it
split
would've
second
been funny.
while it was turning. I'm like, he's just going to be him sideways.
So, do we really think that Gideon's working for Thrawn? Or do you think that they might be rivals vying for, like, what's left of the Empire?
Rivals
I
could be
think-
really cool.
That's
I think that
yeah.
I don't think
Gideon might be one of
Gideon-
those bigger.
I don't think Gideon has been set up as enough of a threat to Thrawn. So unless the season's going to end with Thrawn just coming up and squishing him, I don't like.
Giancarlo Esposito's characters have never really been set up to be anything short of team players, in all honesty. It really just doesn't seem in his character realm. And you can argue with the Breaking Bad, whatever else.
No, what about the boys? He's like the boss. He's the bad guy.
He's the boss, but he's still thinking about the big picture in terms of his company, you know.
I think
I'll argue that I don't think that he will be like an antagonist to the point of like him doing anything to really sabotage Thrawn's attempts, because I think that Thrawn may see this whole thing as the last hope for trying to protect the unknown regions. Gideon could just see it as like these things. This is necessary to survive.
Well, it seems like Gideon wants to rebuild the Empire. Like that's 100% like what he wants. But what does Thrawn want?
He's leading into the First Order stuff that we saw in episode 4, which was another episode.
Thrawn isn't an idiot, right? Like he just he's the smartest villain we
It really
have,
just comes down to his motivation.
Right, and what
really
is it
comes
right
down
now?
to his motivation and where his allegiances right now.
Because he only answered to the Emperor before, right? As
but he always had a little bit more loyalty to the Chiss. The whole reason for him being there was to keep an eye on things.
Yeah, but they don't
We're
really.
also operating under the assumption that Thrawn is back, because I thought that episode took place post Rebels epilogue. If that makes sense.
No, but Filoni's fucking with us now. We don't know that.
But apparently other people didn't take it that way, and now Dave has said that thing today, that quote in the Variety article, that's possible that this is happening before that. So we're operating right now during like this discussion that Thrawn is back from the unknown regions, when that might not be the case. And if it's not the case, then Gideon is the big bad.
Right.
You know?
I mean, the one thing that makes me hesitant, like gives me pause, is that the HK droids had Thrawn's symbol on them. But maybe that's a holdout.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
But maybe it's a holdout from before.
Or
it was. That planet was being used for a shipyard. They were using that to produce materials for ships because that's what Ahsoka said that she had been doing. Those factories in the back were very similar to the TIE Defender factory.
The Magistrate clearly has ties with him, so they could always be leftovers or whatever that she claimed or traded for.
It doesn't necessarily have a tie to Gideon.
Yeah.
Did they talk about in new canon, because I didn't read any of the new Thrawn novels yet, did they talk about his ties to the Ascendancy and all that?
Yes, in the first book, it was just they were very clear on like.
So they were clear where his loyalties were and everything. Okay, because I was just going by what I know from Rebels.
The third book, I've only read the first, but the third book is entirely about where do his loyalties actually lie. Is he going to stay with the Empire, or is he going to go back to the Chiss, which is what he was initially, which is the whole reason why he's there, was to keep an eye on what was going on in the known region.
So now, like, what the fuck is like? What is he doing? That's the wild card. What's he fucking
It's
doing?
still unclear because they're doing another trilogy of books with him that is set before A New Hope. That's even more about the Chiss Ascendancy, and then it's even more about that than what was going on in those other books, which is kind of like a half and half deal. Like, so there's a lot going on with him in that, and then you throw in the stuff that happens in Rebels, and it really. Yeah, it's really confusing.
Yeah, so we don't know what the fuck he wants. How much power he's got left.
I think that he will always have the ability to maintain his control. And again, like I said, though, his motivations are going to entirely dictate what kind of role he has in the show. It's very possible he could go one of two completely different ways. And it really comes down to how... I think it comes down to how the third book ended. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some reading. Because I don't think he's going to be tied to the First Order in any way.
No, I don't think so either. Although, it would explain why the First Order was able to set up in the unknown region.
Maybe.
It's entirely possible that could be the bridge.
I mean, it's also just because they had all these Sith out there, too. There's suddenly a planet full of Sith.
And all this other...
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I know. I wish we could just forget all that. Let's just forget all that. Let's go through the chalk zone and change the future. Can we do that?
Let Disney sell it to someone else so they can do another canon wipe. We could just go
that's never gonna happen. Ever.
No shit.
Disney is still the best place it can be.
What they'll do is make more TV shows that fix it, like Clone Wars is what they're gonna do. It's just all gonna be.
But Clone Wars didn't really need to exist for the prequels to really fit anyway, because again, you had characters that had already kind of grounded it to the original trilogy.
We need to flesh out all these other characters and give them the screen time they deserved and all that, and maybe it won't be so weird and disjointed. But
it's still going to be, because you know what? Because again, they had the comics, and comics didn't really.
The comics are pretty cool for some stuff.
It made me sad when Snap Wexley died. That's about it.
That's true.
Nope. Snap Wexley had that coming.
Where's Mr.
I need
Bones?
a-
Wesley is like the reason everything goes to hell in the sequel trilogy.
I need an animated series where Ray is training Finn.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's the one. The holiday special made me realize that needs to just happen.
I haven't watched that yet. I need to.
I probably won't. Frankly, I haven't.
It's
that
so
actually
it's so
I'm
cute.
watching it now that it's officially holiday season.
It's
Is
not
it actually
canon.
going to be? It's not a canon.
No, it's Lego.
There's like
I can't
dude, there's
never
like three
fucking
Obi-Wans
know.
in one. There's like 3 different Obi-Wans in one scene together.
I haven't seen it.
It's fucking
I haven't seen
hilarious.
it.
It's
Chalk
hilarious.
zone. Chalk zone.
They use the chalk zone to great comedic effect.
Did they? I haven't seen anything from it. I don't know if they did.
It's
or not.
like they took this nightmare out of Steve's head and just
Stacey, did you see
manifested
that?
it.
Did you see that Ahsoka's belt looks like
Fitted
it
into
has
the-
Yes, I
on
brought it up earlier. It's the Lothwolf
Like
run.
thing?
Yep.
If you're gonna show up, just be here the whole time, dude. So we don't have to keep bouncing back.
He's forgiven. He's forgiven.
I'm sorry, some of us have to check in at work.
All
Hey,
right.
you know what time we do this?
It's okay. We got this. It was. It
I'd
was.
like to point out also that Nikki is wearing a Miami Heat shirt.
Oh!
It's also a
I
Miami
Y'all-
didn't
Heat
see that, but it's the shirt
Y'all's
I
blood
have.
feud is
Yay!
shirt.
Which I
Yes,
just
sir.
found the other day, by the way. I put it in my armor tote, and it had been in there this whole time, and I realized it on Halloween when I pulled it out. I was like, oh, yes.
We
Listen,
are
my
just
armor
joking.
tote isn't all nasty. It's not bad in there. I have all these little silicone things in
Steve
there.
learned that lesson recently.
But yeah, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this shirt. I could have wore that on the virtual playoff game thing that we were.
You mean that time I had a nervous breakdown because I opened my tote and my armor was moldy the day before DragonCon?
Oh no, no.
I feel like it wouldn't have been any.
You need
any
to put
weirder
the
than
silica tablet things in there, the silica packets. Just fill
I think
it.
it would have been.
We
I
could
feel
have
like it
just
kind of
thrown
would have been
slime on
appropriate though.
you. We could have thrown slime on you, and we had played it off like you had been in the crate dragon.
He's like, sorry, he
You
was inside
gone.
a crate dragon. You know, don't
And
touch him.
everyone would have been like, why would he be in a crate dragon? Because it was a year behind when it came out.
He was in a,
I
he was in a
Was it this
sarlacc.
Was that this year or was it last year? I mean, was it? Did you guys go last year or was it 2 years ago?
It was last year.
Time doesn't matter. Time is a flat circle, Nick. It's not a thing anymore.
We're
Time
still
is a
in
flat
March,
Circle
man.
punctuated
We're
exclusively
Yeah,
still
by
in
March
March. So,
But for some
I
reason, I still
I'm
have to pay my
standing up,
monthly
guys. I'm
rent.
falling asleep.
oh yeah, no. All right. So, last thoughts, anybody before next week?
Most of these theories are probably going to stay here where they belong,
Yeah, no, they're not going to be real.
and we'll get something better.
Probably.
It's gonna be a bad day for Mando. That's my thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely his bad day.
It's
That
gonna be a
kid,
bad
is
day.
getting kidnapped, 100%.
If it goes on the third season trope of like finding the lost son, I'm thinking of Sons of Anarchy here. If
If I
it goes
have
on
to
that
wait
whole
a whole
third
year to
season
find out
trope,
where Baby Yoda is, I will be very upset.
They'll be
it's
right.
gonna happen.
It's gonna end on a
It's gonna happen.
cliffhanger where Baby Yoda is captive, and we're gonna have to wait a whole fucking year screaming about
Be
our
ready
son.
for the memes. Be ready for the memes.
Yeah, but that's how you get it. You get them angry. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody who watched us nerd out for a couple hours,
I'm surprised you're still here.
and we'll do it again next week. So,
Absolutely.
all right. See y'all on the flip
Bye,
side.